What up, lifers? What up, lifers? What up, lifers? It's Dave Life. It's Dave Life. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If y'all can hear me in the green room, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me. Are we good? All right, it's Dave Life. It's Dave Life. You're watching Dave Life After Dark. Dave Life After Dark, episode 300 and something. And I'm still going to get these numbers right. I'm glad you're here for the After Dark podcast. Let's start this off like we always do, the right way. Dear Heavenly Father, have your way, Lord. I pray that you would speak to your people. Father, I pray that you would enlighten us, entertain us, and inform us. Lord, let us have a great conversation today. I pray less of me and more of you. Let me get out of the way, out of myself, and let you speak tonight through me and through everyone else on the panel. Forgive us of our sins that we've committed, both by commission and omission. Forgive us, Lord, committed to our heads and not our hearts. I ask that you would help us have an edifying conversation and a strong conversation and help it bring us closer together as people. In Jesus' name, we thank you and we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. What up, y'all? So it's a special edition of After Dark. And if you want to support Dave Life After Dark and DaveLifeTV, you can hit us on Venmo at Dave Life, and you can hit us on Cash App at $DaveLifeTV. You can see tonight we're going to talk about how do you feel after the election? How did you feel and how do you feel after the election? I know a lot of people had feelings, and I talked to a lot of friends of mine, and a lot, the country felt strongly about the election. Some people felt that Kamala Harris should have won. Some people felt that Donald Trump should have and did win, and everyone has an opinion. So tonight, the purpose is not to attack anyone for their political views or opinions. It's not to say whether or not my opinion is right or wrong or defend my opinion. It is just to let people speak and say how they felt. Some people have been feeling down because they feel the country is going in a bad direction. Some people feel great because they feel the country is becoming great again. Some people are in the middle because they're like, I don't know where the country is going. Or some people don't care. They're not political at all. And everyone had, though, strong feelings. So tonight, without further ado, we're going to bring up some people that's going to help me talk about this. First person I see is my brother from another mother. This is my best man. We call him Dr. Impossible. Without further ado, come on to the stage, my man, brother Zenos. Zenos, what up, dog?
What's going on, big man?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm good. I don't have the, I'm mobile today, so I don't have the board, so I can't give you the applause. So I'll just go, welcome to the stage. Welcome to the stage.
That'll work.
Thank you for joining. I know you got about an hour, so we're going to cut straight to it. Next, I have my sister from another mister. She is Inside the Drinker Studio is the name of her podcast. She always brings the sauce. She always brings her strong opinions, and we love her. So y'all be nice to my friend. Come on to the stage, Michelle. What's up, Michelle?
Hi.
What up, Michelle?
How are you guys?
Michelle, you're a regular, but we haven't seen you since the last show before I got married.
I know. So much has happened, and then you keep doing all these subjects, and I'm like, I don't know.
I know. I know you're not big into the celebrity stuff. So now we got a topic that you can talk about, which is how you felt after the election and how it affected your life.
The mental health and the
mental health
relationships and stuff.
Absolutely. All right. So next I have my brother from another mother. This is my best friend since high school, right? My next door neighbor. He looking like Santa Claus right now. Representing the A,
Santa Claus, please.
Ghetto Santa Claus. Come on to the stage, Big Corey G. What up, Big Corey G?
Hello, everyone. I'm being very political today. Hello, everyone.
Okay, all right. Big Corey G being political. I know where you're going, sir. I can't wait to hear your opinion.
I know, and I can't wait to give it.
All right. Now I gotta bring on this brother right here. He's from California. He is well spoken. He's real. He's a comedian. He really helped me break down the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef in an amazing way. He's also a podcaster himself. And if I'm not mistaken, it's what's the name of it? All That Game? Come on to the I'm gonna get it wrong. Come on to the stage, Uncle Dolomite. What up, Uncle Dolomite?
Too much game.
Too much game. I knew it wasn't $1 million worth, but I said he talking about game, so too much game.
Too much game podcast. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir, man. Welcome back, man. Thank you for all of the deep insight into the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, man. I appreciate that.
It was my pleasure.
Now we gonna get you on some politics. Not street politics. We're gonna just put you on some United States politics. My man Zoe's connected.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
sir.
looking forward to it.
All right, and now I also have the newest member of the podcast, the After Dark Podcast. Her name, we're gonna have to ask her what this means. She has 3 names that I know of, but only 2 appear on the screen. Her name is like Ocean's 11 and like Can't Stop the Rain. Her name is Ocean's Rain. What's up, Ocean's Rain? What up, Rain? What's up with you, Rain?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm ready to just dive in. I am so ready for this topic. So, good evening, panel, lifers.
Rain. What does your name mean? How did you come up with Ocean's Rain? Is that your real name? Is that a screen name?
So the middle name is my Oceans is my middle name. That is my middle name that my mother gave me. But actually, the other part, Rain, is actually my daughter's middle name. And so because I do poetry and I actually play the guitar live, so when I showcase, that's my name. I put it together, Ocean's Rain, which is deeper than the abyss, and the rain of coming into the newness. And also rain never goes down. It always rains up, and it gives us newness always with a crown. So Ocean's Rain, deep and above rising.
Okay. Oh, well, hey, let's applaud her right there. And you're a poet. You're a poet. We hit you with the.
Not only am I that, I definitely say I love this topic because actually right now I am actually something that you probably don't know, Dave. I am a behavioral health therapist.
That's right. You mentioned that last night. I did pick up on that. I appreciate you being here. So when I talked to a few friends of mine after the election, we were feeling some type of way. Some people, I'll just say everyone had strong feelings. Let me turn the music down. So everybody had strong feelings, right? And everyone felt like something when it came to this election. And, you know, some friends felt good, some friends felt bad, some friends were confused. You know, I was in shock after the election. And as a Christian in this country, I don't feel that the question is, how did you feel after the election? As a Christian in this country, I felt like a lot of times if God was politicized, you know, in different cases. So in some cases, they say, well, if you believe in God, you have to vote red or Republican. Or if you vote blue, you can't believe in God because they support things that are against God. And I've heard that in many different elections and many different times. I've always felt like my civic duty is different than my spiritual salvation. And I've always separated church and state for me. So I had no problem going in and voting based on things that affect the world and things that affect my culture, and not worrying about things that were spiritual per se. That's how my vote would be, worldly or physical, if you will. And I know some people don't believe in that. Some people are like, no. God tells you how to vote. And I know some people are like, no, God doesn't tell you how to vote. So I'll just say for me, I was a little bit like, wow, this happened. Okay. I know that from a Christian standpoint, you might say go vote for Trump because Trump claims to be a Christian and the Republican Party claims to be evangelical Christian, all of that. But then if I look at the Republican Party, I could say, man, I see a lot of hatred. I saw a rally that looked like a Nazi rally from almost like the 1930s, the one they did in Madison Square Garden, where they basically crapped on everybody. A lot of stuff like that bothered me. And I was like, plus, not to mention, I don't feel like any of the policies are good for Black people specifically. I was like, I can't really go that route. Now, take me to the Democratic side. And as much as I love people's rights, and I want women to have the right to choose what to do with their body, I want people to have a right, if they so want to, as an adult, to have a sex change. I don't want to be a part of that process. I don't necessarily agree with abortion or believe in it, right? But I want my daughter to have the right to have one in the event she needs one. That's different than saying you should or shouldn't do it. What I'm saying is, if you need to do it for whatever reason, I want you to have the right because I believe that is a right over your body. And then we can get into whether or not abortion itself is murder or not, right? But I'm laying out there some of the conflicts that I, as a Christian Black male, could have with both parties, right? And then if I go to the LGBTQ side, I could feel like, I'm heterosexual, right? And from a biblical standpoint, I'm not with um, I'm not with that lifestyle, and I could preach on that and say I'm against it. So therefore, I could say I'm not going to vote Democratic because of that alone. And I did hear that come from friends of mine. So I'm laying that out to put myself on the altar first and to put my feelings out there first and say, this is the things I struggled with before I voted, right? Having said that, at the end of the day, I did vote for Kamala. And at the end of the day, I felt that, and I was trying to find the numbers. I felt that the percentages that did not vote for Kamala, to me, it felt like they chose white supremacy over diversity. That's what it felt like to me as a Black man in America. It felt like white supremacy and, in a way, misogyny over diversity and allowing people to have rights, even if you don't agree with what they do with those rights. America was founded on Christian values, but it's freedom of religion. I don't believe we should persecute people for believing in any other religion, right? I don't think we should do that. So allowing someone to have rights, to me, doesn't take away from my standing as a Christian or a citizen of the U.S. I'm putting that out. I put it out there. I know that's a lot. I don't even want anyone to respond in terms of like, well, Dave, I agree, disagree, unless you want to. But what I want to do is open the floor to whoever wants to share how they felt after the election or maybe even before they voted, because I kind of shared both of mine. So who would like to share how they felt before and after the election?
I'll go.
You got it, Corey.
I felt fine. I didn't have no anxiety when I went to the poll booth. I voted the way I wanted to vote, and I left. You know why? I'm 52 years old. Nothing has gone my way in the political world. Nothing. Nothing has changed at all. Nothing. I'm trying to figure out when everything switched up to where we have an idiot running. Excuse me, never not name people, but it's crazy to me that after Barack Obama left, how things switched. After 9/11, everybody, the country was together, and we felt like Bush didn't do the right thing, and then we was at a standstill with the deficit and the homes fallout and the bank fallout. All this stuff was going on after 9/11. Then Barack became president, and then that was a big, great thing to happen. And then I felt like America was cool. Actually, he won 2 terms. So when did it switch? When did all this bad stuff start happening? When did America become such a bad place to live? When did that happen? I missed all of that. So what I'm saying is, I felt fine because all I know is this: I got to go to work on the next day. I got bills to pay. I got somebody to take care of. I got a family to take care of. I got myself to take care of because that's all I have for me as the president or whoever president is. All my years, I told my mom this. She went through uh, Nixon, Bush, uh, Lyndon Johnson, Jimmy Carter, all these people, and she's fine. She's good. A lot of people went through a lot of bull with all these presidents, especially of color, and we still coming out. And my thing is this: it's all we don't know what it is. We don't know how things can change in the United States, but at the same time, I just feel like it is what it is until until it ain't. That's it. Period.
So everybody's seeing, if you see the timer, one time we had a discussion on um, letting people say what they have to say and then like, not letting it go on forever. So I don't have a 3-minute timer. Trying to do 3 minutes. So I let Corey go and then like try to just give him the last indicator that he got 60 more seconds. So let's try to keep it around 3 minutes. Who wants to go next and explain why they felt or why they voted? Okay, I see Rain. All right, Rain, you got it.
So, I want to say this. I listened to what Corey said and Dave as well. The triggers for me prior to voting, I went in this as a liberal and independent. I go back and forth because I do support the community of the LGBTQ. I support that community. I also support, I have family members, myself as well. I support that community. Not only that, I am a multiracial female coming in, and I definitely support a lot of my grandfather came over as a, straight over as an immigrant. We are immigrants that came over here. And coming in, I looked at all of this. I went through all the amendments just for my city, my state, as well as going into looking at this after the election, post-election. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I saw the screen, the landslide of red across my screen. Unlike Corey, there was anxiety. I prayed. I went into prayer because hearing the conversations, and when we say he is correct, when you're looking at generations of people, there has been a lot of different evolving changes as far as genders. We have different restrooms. When you're saying things like there will be no more restrooms for women and men, not only that, when the reproductive rights of women are taken away, when we're talking about bringing in people that resumes don't even read, to have the consultant to be able to be intrusive and intrude into a seat that their resume does not read for. What are we doing? And half of some of the people I've communicated with now, they've asked for this, quote unquote, can I play Uno? Can I put my reverse card in, reverse, skip, and draw 4? So I felt anxiety. I felt that I didn't, right. I felt that also that it must be there has to be something that was not correct about this election. And when you have that in play, the numbers that accounted for are incorrect, and I will stand by that. And that's how I felt. And right now I'm in a place of unknowing, but like Corey said, we get up, we go to work, and we still have to move on. But right now, Gen Z is going to be affected, and the next generation is affected by what happens in the next 4 years. So God bless us.
Okay. Appreciate that, Rain. Um, Next person who just wants to share, and then we can get into other reactions. Was okay, Uncle Dolly, what's up? You got it.
Personally, I was indifferent. We survived the last 4 years that he was the president, so I honestly wasn't tripping. Like me personally, I'm a
Oh, Dolly, your Wi-Fi just froze.
here I go.
There
Y'all
you
can hear
go.
me?
All right. Yeah, we got you back. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but like
Uh-oh, froze
I
again.
don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. Once I start talking, it want to trip. Y'all can hear me though.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to stay as still as possible so I don't freeze.
All right, go
But
for it.
like me personally, like I don't.
Wow, it just froze up again. All right, Dolly, it's freezing up on us, man.
Is my audio
Uh,
freezing?
yeah, everything. It just came back, but yeah. Are you on your are you on Wi-Fi or are you on like your
I'm on a
cellular?
wired connection.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna jump out and I'm gonna switch it to my Wi-Fi.
Okay, bet. All right. So who wants to share next?
Guess I'm the only one left.
Well, Xenos. He's quiet. Oh,
There
wait,
we
Xenos
go.
went. Did you go, Xenos?
Okay, go. He can go.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Come on, Michelle. This is your topic. You asked for this.
I know, and I'm terrified.
Oh, wait. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So I know I don't I know I said I wasn't gonna point counterpoint, but I want to make it clear that being a Christian and maybe I don't subscribe to or agree with like an LGBTQ lifestyle, that doesn't mean that I want people to not have rights. Oh, and Rain wasn't here to hear that. All right, well, she'll hear when she comes back. Michelle, you want to wait for Rain and Dolly?
Up to you.
Go ahead. Let's not hold up the show.
Okay. Um, I have so much to unpack, but I think I'm just gonna go directly for the reasons, and maybe I can just, elaborate as the show goes. I voted how I voted because, I voted for him, not because I was fully convinced. I mean, I cannot say that I'm a full-on red, I'm more of a magenta, if you will, because I don't agree with everything that he stands for or, his people. I've been trying to look at the facts and get very well informed about what happened, what has been said, what hasn't been said, what the media has been transmitting. I'm very worried about the mental health of people and the way that people have been reacting. But Juan and I voted the way we did because, first and foremost, we're immigrants and we have been in this country for more than 10 years and we do appreciate and we have love for this country. We see we've gotten so many opportunities and we worked our asses off. But at the same time, living in the border before moving to Arizona, when we were living in El Paso, we saw how everything went on over there. And we were very worried about the whole border thing. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against immigrants coming in. And as much as red as I sound, I think that everything should be legal. I mean, we have a system for everything. There's ways to do things, and I don't disagree with being legal. And I saw how these immigrants came into El Paso and they came into Juarez in the side of Mexico and how they destroyed it. I'm not being exaggerating. It sucks because they're human beings and I feel for them. But at the same time, it's horrible how, opening the border like that has brought so much for us taxpayers. And it's just incredible for me that as a country, we're trying to help everything outside of us. Let's help the immigrants. Let's help, other countries, and let's meddle into wars outside of us. And I see how we are on the inside. We can't even take care of our own. How can we say that we're going to help others? And it's sad because, when we were crossing over to Ciudad Juarez, we would see the people stuck there. And I talked to a lot of people in Juarez. I had friends, and, they would say, you know what? They don't want to work. They want to come in, and they're staying here. And we're trying to, mind you, Juarez is a border town, and the economy is not very good, and they're trying to help them out, and they were rejecting the help. They're getting everything dirty, and they just wanted to wait there and not do anything. So I just, that's one of the main reasons why I voted the way I did. And I can elaborate more, but I know my time is up.
How did you feel? I'll give you another couple minutes here because I want you to get to how you felt after the election.
I felt hopeful because of so many things that I see wrong with the society. I felt hopeful that we can finally go beyond our emotions and our feelings and start looking things as they really are with the facts. I am pretty much done with the whole woke rhetoric. I'm not hating against anything. I think that there's a big mental problem in this country, and everybody's just saying how they're feeling, but nobody's actually looking at things subjectively. And I feel hopeful. I'll be honest. I was very happy when I saw the results. I didn't want to see them, but we were coming back. We were driving back from Texas because we actually drove 6 hours to go vote because we're still.
Oh wow,
registered
yeah,
in
because y'all had to go
Texas.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, and we came back that same day back to Arizona, and we went somewhere where I saw people being happy about it, and I'm just like, thank God we picked a place where there's more Trump supporters, because I started to feel scared because of people, how they're reacted. And unfortunately, I've been feeling very judged, misunderstood.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to take the time to have a conversation with us non-extremists, and I wish there was more of that, more conversations and more understanding, even if we agree to disagree, instead of calling names and pointing the finger and saying things. It is what it is, and tomorrow I still have to wake up and pay taxes no matter what, and work. And yeah.
Okay. All right. Brother Zenos, unmute for me.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, man. I might need you to give me about 6 minutes. Give me 9 minutes, man. Give me 9 minutes. When you look at that image you have of, well, first of all, I don't know who Kamala is. You keep saying Kamala, like it's Pamela. Okay, did Kamala run for office? I don't know who that is. But when you look at that image you have behind Kamala and Voldemort, you see a lot of red back there. And that's disappointing, because I think we've gotten to the point where a lot of people don't even really look at issues or pay attention. They just go in and vote blindly based on what mom and dad said, or blindly based on what the community's doing. But they're not really looking at the broader picture. So 2 things for me. First of all, I think I am looking at this from a strictly Christian perspective, like 1000%, nothing else. And even though the right claims to have the monopoly on Christ, it tends to seem to me they have more of a monopoly on the law. They want to do what the law says. But Christ, who walked on the earth and said so many things that would strike the Republican Party down, from the feeding of the needy to the Good Samaritan parable, to even teaching them about forgiveness, And us as Americans in 2024, we take a lot of things from the biblical perspective for granted, just because we've heard it for so long. We've seen people risen from the dead in movies and TV. So to us, it's just whatever. But for them, it was significant, highly significant, to take a group of people and say, the most amount of times you should forgive somebody is 3, to the most amount of times you should forgive someone is 7 times 70, infinite number of times. So this guy, Jesus, was about pushing back on those in power. Okay. And the other way I look at this is people are deceived if they think the Republican Party cares about abortion. They don't care about abortion. They care about white women killing babies. They care about the white population growing. They don't care about the border. They care about keeping minorities out. This is the strongest nation in the world. This nation influences all of Europe. This nation influences Asia. This nation uses South America almost as a vacation spot, right? We've already, this nation, robbed Africa of valuable labor and resources, people. We're robbing the Middle East of oil. That's all we care about is money and how that moves the needle for the American economy. And white Americans in power, not white American voters, white Americans in power want to remain in control of the nation that runs the world. We can't let immigrants take over. We can't let blacks take over. We can't let Asians take over. Because if they do, who knows what could happen, right? And so we get lulled to sleep as Christians. Oh, abortion. Yeah, we can't kill the babies. It's not about that. It's about keeping the numbers in there, because by and large, white women are having way more abortions than anybody else. Okay. So just examples like that where people get lulled to sleep. Oh, I don't want my daughter to be in the bathroom with a boy. Okay. You want to play checkers? Again, I said this before. You want to play checkers? The Republican Party is playing chess. And we may have seen, I hope Corey's right. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope Corey's right that we can get through these next 4 years. But the Republican Party, they're playing to keep power until it's game, set, match.
All right. Appreciate that. Man, okay. Everybody kind of shared how they felt. I felt before that my Christianity was being forced to pick sides. And I felt that both parties did a level of pandering. Some parties better than others. For instance, the Republican Party got Amber Rose and called her a rapper. She ain't never rapped a day in her life. And I was like, why are they putting Amber Rose up there? She's not what's this? But then the Democratic Party went and got Megan, and she was throwing her ass cheeks. And everybody got offended. Like, why are they putting all these celebrities in front of us trying to get us to go that route? Right. So I feel like my vote was being pandered to. I do feel that. But I also feel like it happened on the other side of the aisle. And the way that Democrats play on race and say, hey, if you don't vote for Biden, you ain't black. If you don't go this route, you ain't really black. They play on that. I feel like the Republican Party does that on white people. Like, you ain't American if you don't, it's a Trump Bible. Like, you gotta have a Trump Bible. That stuff to me is dirty. It's dirty politics. So that's where I fall into. I'm not going to, because I said this on the election night, Zenos. I said, just because I'm a Christian, I don't have to vote conservative. And just because I'm black, I don't have to vote Democratic. I have a choice, right? And I think that's where a few of the people on our groomsmen chat, Zenos, were coming from, where they were saying, hey, use your brain. You have a choice. Don't just go for everything the Democratic Party sells us, right? And I was with that. But then I also was trying to say to people on the other side of the aisle don't just go for the fact that I don't want my daughter playing sports with a person that's born a man and calls himself a woman. Like, I'm like, I understand your concern, and I understand your concern about your children in bathrooms. But like Rain was saying, that don't mean though that we just excommunicate anybody that's gay, lesbian, or transgender, and you can't use bathrooms that heterosexuals use. You know, you can't use a bathroom because it's almost like going back to segregation. This is a white water fountain, a white bathroom, a white this. So now what we gonna say? This is a heterosexual this, and everybody that's not, y'all got to go to the dirty, filthy underclass. You ain't getting no rights. And worse, we gonna persecute y'all like they did the Christians back in Rome. Not only am I gonna say I don't like your lifestyle, now I'm gonna kill you for it. Now I'm gonna beat you up for it. Now I'm gonna see. I ain't trying to go that far. Like if I disagree because of a spiritual thing, that's one thing. But that doesn't mean I want to discriminate, and that doesn't mean that people shouldn't have rights. Then you swing back to this. I also though don't want children making decisions about their gender when they can't even buy alcohol. You can't afford to buy. It's not legal for you to buy alcohol, have sex, or buy a cigarette, but you can tell me that you want to change your gender as a 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old? I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with that being taught in schools either. Like, I don't want that being pushed. Let me tell my child, about my sexuality, my decision to marry your mama, this, that, and the third. Let me teach my children those things. I don't want it forced upon us in school. Then we swing back the other way. But then I don't want people taking the Bible out of the school either and out of the courts. So it's intricate. It's intricate. My whole thing, Xenos, was don't label me, America. Like you're trying to push me into a black or white, red or blue binary decision. It ain't that easy. It ain't that simple. And just because someone votes for Trump, are they my enemy? No. Just because I voted for Kamala, am I their enemy? I would hope not. You see what I'm saying? So it's touchy. I know politics is like sex and religion. It's a taboo subject. I get that part. But after the election, just to close it back out, I'm repeating myself. After the election, I felt like America let Black women down. I felt like, Black women get it hard because you already got Black men that's going out and dating people of other races, which they can do, but it makes sisters feel like they ain't worthy. Then you got the standard of beauty has been white women, European, right? White adjacent for years. Now all of a sudden it's coming around to Black, the thicker lips, the wider hips. That stuff is in vogue now, but it wasn't when I was coming up. Standard of beauty was white. So I'm feeling like, man, sisters get it hard. And now you had America say, not only do I not want a woman as a president, because they didn't want Hillary Clinton. I don't want no woman. I don't want no Black woman. I don't want no Indian or mixed person that's of Black and Indian descent. I don't want somebody that's going to try to speak from a loving platform, I'll say, versus a hate platform, which I did feel like the Republicans did. Now, people can say what they want about Kamala and the Democrats, but I don't feel like she got up there and preached hate. I feel like the other side did preach hate, but it preached hate from a male white perspective and an anti-female, anti-LGBTQ perspective. And I think that's why you have numbers like this. I'm sorry if it's a little small. I'll try to zoom in. I think that's why 57% of white men, they said, hey, man, I'm going with the white male agenda. 51% of white women said, you know what? I know I'm a woman and I know women's rights are important and this is a woman, but I'm going to go with the white male agenda. Black men, you got 73% that said, nope, I'm still rocking with Black women. I'm rocking with diversity. I'm rocking with inclusion. I'm rocking with affirmative action. I know there's some other things in here that I may or may not agree with, but I'm going to go with this level. 23% of men said, black men said, nah, bro. And I think that 23% of black men, from the black men I talked to, it came down to money and LGBTQ. I don't want my children being forced into an agenda that I don't agree with. So therefore, I would look racism in the eye. I had a brother say, I could deal with racism, Dave. I've been dealing with racism my whole life. I know how to deal with racism. What I don't know how to deal with is this whole LGBTQ thing. I don't want my children involved with that. And they're making my children be involved with that and teaching them things that I don't agree with. I heard brothers tell me this. And I know I'm putting my neck out on the line saying these things, but I'm doing it because it's the truth that people felt this way, right? And this demographic, this tells me that 23% of black men said, I'd rather my daughters and them be safe versus possibly be in danger as they considered it. Look at that. 88% of black women, that don't surprise me. They say, hey, I'm sticking with my sister. I ain't mad at that. What surprised me here was Latino men and women. 45% of Latino men and 36% of Latino women went with a candidate, to me, that promoted white supremacy and even said that they would deport and have mass deportations in what almost feels like.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, come on.
You're throwing a lot of terms out there, and I think we need, and we all have thrown a lot of terms out there. I think they need to be defined or clarified. Like when you say a white supremacy platform, you have to give me some examples of that.
Okay. I would just look at. Okay.
Hey, hold on. Why you think about that? Why I don't want to put you on the spot. But why you think about that? Because I think there are certain assumptions that are made, and I'm sure Michelle, who says she voted for Voldemort, did not do so because she backs white supremacy, right? So then, are we saying that there's white supremacy because it's like some sort of underlying theme, or are there real things that we can point to? That's the first question. Second question is, when you looked at your chart and you said, I'm surprised at the Latino vote, or I'm surprised at the black male vote, but then earlier you said, I don't want to be pandered to, I don't want my vote to be assumed. So balance that out. Why are you shocked at the Latin vote when you said earlier, we can vote however we want, don't make assumptions about my vote, but it seems like you and all of us, media, society, we all are making assumptions about votes based on race.
I don't like that either. I don't want to be put in the same boat as everybody else and how they voted. I'm not a number, and I'm not going to be defined as what's in between my legs and the color that I am. And that's one thing that I'm really, really tired of.
Right.
Hey, go a little farther, Michelle. Tell me what you mean.
You know, looking at the numbers, it just pisses me off because I'm being put in a percentage. I'm being put as, you know, in a boat of a bunch of Latin women. Like, yes, I'm Latin, I'm a woman. I don't have to be put and segregated. I think that's the biggest problem at all. We all put labels, you know, on not just other people. We put labels on ourselves, and this is not gonna end until we take that label off. You know, yeah, I'm a woman. I'm white-skinned, if you will. I'm not that brown, but I'm not gonna define myself for that, and I have my reasons. And it's just really sad that, you know, hearing you right now, it makes me sad because you are actually putting me in those places. And I'm just like, no, it's sad. This is the kind of conversations that are not happening because everybody's just like, you know, cataloging. You should be here because the numbers say this, because it's sad. You know, I didn't vote against women. I don't vote because of white supremacy. I don't believe that that's happening. I feel that people are so, you know, being fed so many things by the media and so many other sources, and we haven't stopped to actually think for ourselves and see what's happening and how we are self-segregating ourselves as well. And then
Dolomite first. I saw Dolly's hand up.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're gonna pray for my connection, because I missed out on my whole little thing because my connection was tripping.
Go for it.
But I just feel
Oh,
like
that's
both.
right. Yeah, you got it. You didn't get a chance to
Yeah,
share
you've
why
been missing
how
him.
you felt.
Yeah. Basically, if I'm gonna do that right now, I'm indifferent. Like honestly, I was happy that Trump won because like when Trump is the president, a lot of times when we have Republicans in office, we get to see exactly who everybody is. And I'm a big fan of that. Because like I said, there's a difference between the two different sides of the Trump supporter. You got the red hats and you got the white collars. The red hats support Trump strictly because he's a racist, because they like what he stands for. They feel like we're taking the country back and all that. Then you got people who've been Republicans the whole time. They just conservative and they're gonna vote conservative. So it's not about what he represents, it's just about policy. Me personally, that's where I lean because like I don't vote emotionally. Like I don't care. I'm just looking at the policy. I know Trump is a racist. The same way I'm from California. Like I know how Kamala views black people. Like I've seen what she's done to people in prison. Like I don't like nothing about her. But that was irrelevant. Me personally, I don't even think black people should be voting until somebody has a political agenda specifically for us. Because I really feel like both parties disrespect our vote. I feel like the reason that they had Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Beyonce, and all these people is because they like, oh well, just throw them a concert. They're gonna vote for us. Don't even worry about it. They're gonna love us. Black Lives Matter. They're gonna vote for us. Don't even trip. It's like money in the bank for them. And I don't like the way that both parties pandered because this was the first election I genuinely felt like both sides talked to the worst of society. Like, we're not gonna bring y'all policy. We're gonna bring y'all a concert. We're gonna bring y'all celebrities. We're gonna cater to you guys emotionally. Like, you barely heard anything about either of their policy. Like, nobody was really talking about taxes or things like that. Everything was racial this and women this and LGBT. Like, they was just hitting us with like buzzwords and headlines. It was the shade room versus 4chan. And me personally, like I said,
Wow.
what really made me feel like, okay, cool, I'm just glad this is all over. It's like I said, when we have a polarizing president, we get a whole lot more honesty about how people feel. And me, I love that. Like I love seeing them red bumper stickers because I know that's a racist. Like no other president that I've ever heard of in my 42-year life has had merchandise that has become like just that's the new Confederate flag. Like no, when I see that, I know who people is. So personally, it makes me happy. And being that we got them out of office, I just hope these gas prices go down. Cause honestly, that was my biggest issue. These groceries is through the roof.
I wanted to respond. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rain. You got on mute.
This is definitely why I center myself on stuff like this, because listening to this panel, and this is just me, when I listen to Michelle, when I listen to Corey, when I listen to I don't want to say your name wrong, best
Dolly,
man, not Dolly,
Xenos.
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 using everyone. I just want to say this. As a voter coming in independent and liberal, I definitely have a balance, right? Being a part of listening to students that come in to communicate with me. I'm a director of a university. So I'm having LGBTQ community come into me, or I'm having white women that have come in and communicated with me directly, or Latinas that have come to me and have said the same thing that actually Uncle Dolly has said, that no matter what is going on right now, like literally, we really didn't get to hear what actually was happening. We were hearing buzzwords, but what happened is exactly what they wanted to execute and activate, which was you are listening to the actual guru himself, Elon Musk, who comes in, who is able to manipulate numbers, who is able to calculate numbers, to calculate them to equal what they are equaling, to status out. So because they said, quote unquote, that prior to the election being even the electoral votes coming in, 4.5 to 5 hours prior to that, Trump received a text message stating, "Congratulations, you've won. I'm going home." How is that? We are missing a huge point, because this election was something that was calculated by what we're going into as artificial intelligence, Magna, which is taking us a different space. It is not going to be the same. I'm a gambling woman at times, and I will tell you this: we are not in a safe space, in a safe place anymore. Michelle, for you to come and see what's going on at the borders, I have friends also and family members. And my question is, why vote for someone that would say they would want to see someone shooting a barrel at a woman, or either having them that way? That is so much hatred. How could I do that? And Kamala, I understand, but if I had to choose between two, it's only my opinion. But we don't know enough about either of them. I get it. But I sit in front of an audience like this and I wonder, what are we all thinking? Because this votes, the AI intelligence made them. We did not decide this vote at all.
That's something that I was also concerned about. I was concerned about Elon Musk. I was concerned about Trump saying many times before the election, "We've got so many votes. We've got so many votes. We don't need any votes. Don't vote. Don't vote. We've got all the votes we need. Don't vote." Right. And then when I do hear things like Elon saying, "Hey, congratulations, I'm going to bed. You won." Right. Way before all the numbers are in because of whatever algorithm or whatever else he may have had. Then when I hear people say, "Y'all still mad? Democrats, get over it." When Trump caused an insurrection and attacked, January 6th and attacked the vote, attacked the process, attacked the electorate, and was like, yeah, no, I just wanted them to go and have a discussion. I didn't incite any violence. But he really fought this election and the results for the whole 4 years. But then Democrats are supposed to say, "Oh, no, it was fair." Because, so you're right. It's a lot going on. And I think what I'm taking away is that everyone votes for their own specific reasons, right? The same way you said, I can't vote for Trump, right? For the border things. Michelle had her reasons for voting for Trump. The same way, like if Dolly says, "Man, look, I ain't trust nobody," I might say, "Yeah, but you got to go this way, because if you go this way, Democrat, it's best for black folks, because the other side trying to take away rights." Right? I could say that, but he makes a good point. And I've had other friends that didn't even vote. They just said, "I don't vote. I don't like either candidate. I don't like either party. Ain't nothing gonna change. The country gonna keep going. I still gotta go to work. I ain't voting." So my takeaway is that everyone votes for specific reasons, and they all have to make concessions. And Michelle, I don't like labels. I really don't. But it's true though, when you look at the numbers, people are going to interpret it through their lens, and they're gonna place us all in a label. If I say I voted Democrat and I voted for Kamala and I'm a black man, they're gonna look at that number and they're gonna say, "Okay, you cool with wokeism and diversity and inclusion. You cool with LGBTQ. Okay, you over there." Whether I am or not. And I don't even like the term wokeism, because that's some bullshit. That's another label to make people feel something, right? Because it's not what they call it in today's world. And diversity, equity, and inclusion, in my opinion, is not a handout. It's not bad. Diversity is just like affirmative action. It's giving opportunities to people who were not allowed opportunities 100 years ago. When you have 400 years of not getting opportunities, you're not going to catch up in 50, 60 years. So you have to give people opportunities. And I know jobs that won't interview you today, if you say you're black, they no, just push that to the side. I'm not interviewing Kamala. You know what I mean? Maybe they might interview Kamala, but not Kamala. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to offend nobody, especially you, Michelle, by saying how I read the numbers, but I'm reading them through my lens, and maybe I think it's hard to not have a lens in America. It's hard to not have a lens. Go ahead, Dolly.
Yeah, but like honestly, like that's why I'm glad we having this conversation, because to Michelle's point, like we all had our different reasons for voting the way that we voted. We all had our different reasons for feeling the way that we felt. So I think that a lot of what her problem was when you categorized everybody who you categorized, you was like, oh, well, they voted for this and for this, as opposed to just being like, this is how they voted. And we're going to leave it at that. Because different people have different reasons for voting in different ways. Like, when you was talking about your homeboy and I was like, is he white? Because the
Yeah,
thing is, like, assumptions are going to get made based on who you vote for and why you vote for them. So
yeah,
like, I feel like she just want to take the assumption off of why a person voted. Because like
yeah,
conversations that I've been having with people as of recent is, I missed back in the days when we literally didn't know who nobody voted for. That used to be
Hmm.
private. Like
Yeah,
talking about
I
who
miss
you
that
voted
too.
for used to be like talking about how you sleep with your wife. Like that's just something you didn't really discuss with other people. Where now, like I said, everybody want to wear their hat. Like, oh, I got my MAGA hat on. I want to let y'all know. Like I said, me personally, I feel like that MAGA hat, that's just letting you know you a racist. Like,
At
because
least that's
there,
the connotation that has gotten now. Yeah.
yeah, because there was
but
no
even
Bush
that,
hat.
is a label. But
Yeah,
even
Hmm.
I agree with you, because you have conservatives and then you have MAGA, and some of the
exactly.
conservatives like, yo, I'm not MAGA,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
so I guess MAGA would be what some people on the opposite side is equivalent to being woke. I guess it's the extreme left
Yeah,
versus the extreme right to some people.
yeah. Corey, you muted.
Here, I'm sorry. So with the labeling part, let's get this straight. Labeling. Trump invented labeling. He did a divisive job at labeling because he's a marketer. That's what he does. He's gonna put a label on something. And when he did the MAGA hats, that's what he did. He labeled. Now, I was telling my brother, I thought actually that 4 years ago when he lost, that it was going to be a third party. It's going to be the Republicans, MAGA, and then Democrats.
Mm.
But he knew that, okay, that's why he kept his name and face out there. Because most presidents, once they lose, they just go out in the sunset. All right, I'm gone. But he knew that he still had the power, he still had the niche. He didn't need to keep himself out there. That's why I have a problem with a lot of political people, presidents out here that like, why are you running the president? What's your whole point? Because it's all power. Because if you for the people, you don't stop. Like I told Dave before, the only person ever done that to me is Jimmy Carter. That's it. Now Barack, nobody else. Everybody else got a book and an apartment in Harlem. That's it. And do book tours. But no, I don't hear them talking about what's going on in the world after they retire or they lose. They don't keep working. They stop. Who does that? If you for the American people and you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you're a Bush, whatever, and you still have that name and you still want to be America, be great, and you want America to do the things and be together, it's always a split. No one has done anything for the United States of America in a long time to bring us like this. It's always like this
Yeah,
because it always we ain't been together in a long time. I
I
don't think
think
we ever
America.
been
Yeah,
been like this except after 9/11. That's the only time
yeah,
something
yeah,
big has happened after World War II, after a war with except
yeah,
Vietnam. That's the only one that we went together. Vietnam.
Yeah, maybe during COVID when we all, sat
Cause we
down.
had,
I don't
cause
know,
we had to be together,
When we
but
all
we still
started the
apart.
podcast.
Yeah,
when I
but we
start
still,
podcasting.
but we still apart
But
because you have to take. You like, oh, I'm against the vaccine. No, I'm with the vaccine. Who gonna take the vaccine?
right,
So we were still apart.
America benefits from having polarizing candidates in a two-party system. That's what I was saying to a friend of mine. I was like, if you don't vote, you're essentially giving the candidate you don't want to win a vote. So let's say, for instance, you didn't like Trump, and you were like, I don't like Trump, but I don't really like Kamala, so I ain't voting. I ain't doing it. The fact that you sat out the game and didn't vote, in my personal opinion, you took a vote away from the team that could have beat the candidate you didn't want to win. Because if you really didn't like Trump and you sat out, you could have voted for Kamala, which would have helped her overcome. If you really didn't like Kamala and you sat out, you could have voted for Trump. But for those that didn't vote, or for those that voted different parties, we had the Tea Party with, back in the day, we had the
Yep.
Green Party, right? We got different people. Unfortunately, those
What's the
parties will
dude?
never
What's the
win.
dude? What's the dude name with the big ears?
Ross
The
Perot.
big Ross
Ross
Perot.
Perot,
Ross Perot.
Ross Perot.
But see, the thing
Unfortunately,
is,
they're not
like,
gonna win because they don't have the votes, y'all. Like the popular vote, they make it polarizing for a reason. And this is how, Michelle, and I'll let you go, Dolly, but this is how we end up saying, if you voted blue, you voted for the woke agenda. Or if you voted red, you voted for MAGA and MAGA's racist. The reason we end up with those broad strokes is because they make it a two-party system, and each of those parties have nuances. Not all conservatives agree with Trump, and not all Democrats agree with what you may call wokeism. You know what I'm saying? So we're forced.
I'm just pointing out that I don't think it's fair, based on
That's
my
good.
experience, because we all talk also based on our experiences. So
yeah, but I think a lot of it is because both candidates, especially in this election, particularly, are so polarizing.
hmm
Like, they are so far to their direction. Like, it's never been like this far away from
Right.
each other. Like, most elections, like, you got both parties saying, well, I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, where people can be on either side. With this,
Mhm.
Trump is as far right as it gets. Because, like I was telling the homie, I feel like a lot of what got Trump the presidency that first time is a lot of the MAGAs were so mad that Barack had 8 years in the White House. They was like, I don't care what it is. We're voting red. Like, we coming out in record numbers, which, I kind of have my feelings about them saying that Joe Biden had the most votes ever, like the record. Cause I'm like, over Obama, you got the record.
That's how much people were
That's
going
deep.
away from Trump. The whole, and this is what I mean. If every black person in America voted, and if every Latino person in America voted Democrat, you
You
still need
still
white
lose.
people to win.
Yeah, we still
Yeah,
would
you
You will
lose.
still
still
need white
lose.
people. You
Yeah.
have to have a contingent of the white vote when you just look at the numbers. America, when I looked at it, America is like, I got it in my computer, but I think America is now 51 or 56% white, and America's like 30 something percent Latino. But this is the funny thing, you guys. This is how they play us, Michelle. They say Hispanic is not a race. So when I go and I look it up, right? When I go and I look it up on job applications, what's your race? White, black, not Latino, Asian, Pacific Islander, Native American, right? Then it says Hispanic/Latino. And I'm like, why you gotta say I'm white of non-Latino origin or I'm black of non-Latino origin? Because when I went to Wikipedia and I look at the census, under every race, they had a Latino subrace. You had white, Irish, German, Latino or Hispanic.
yeah,
You had black,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm the asshole that will do the little box and it says human.
right, right. Understood. But here's how they play us. when you just look at certain census numbers, if you don't pull the Latino contingent out of all of the major races, because they have it under each race is like a subheading. If you don't pull that out and add them all up, you'll have a wrong number. Because if you just pick Latinos that identify as Black or Asian or Native American, you'll miss the white Latino identifying. The Latino number in America is more like 30, 35%, but some numbers will have it as low as 20. And I'm like, nah, no, no, no. It's a lot of Latinos, right? So Latino is the biggest sub race or minority in America. They have overtaken Black people because Black people we still around 16%, y'all, 16 to 18. If the numbers are right, because I know we all don't take the census, Corey.
Wait, okay. So my Uncle William, he told us a long time ago. He said, stop checking Black when you go get interviewed. Put
Why?
other. He said because they're tracking it. Anyway, you're not gonna get your interview. You're not gonna come in there first. Especially of course, he's a Georgia Tech graduate. He said
Right.
especially for government positions. I said, wow. He said, yeah. Also think about it like this. Just imagine all Black people start putting themselves as Native Americans. Think about that. Where was the number would be then, and how things will
It,
change.
it'll go up. The Native American number will go up in a major way.
And the reason why I say that, because you know what my birth certificate says.
What?
It says Negro.
hmm
Yours says what?
That's a great question. I don't know, Corey.
Xenos,
Hold
what's
on.
your birth? What color you on your birth certificate, Xenos?
I think mine says pimp, but
I
I
know,
have to
yeah, I know pimp is first, yeah.
right, right. I have to
You
check.
know
I
what,
have to,
Corey?
Yeah,
I,
mine
I just
mine
so
say
I
Black.
just so happen to have mine.
So brother, yours says Black, right?
Yeah, I
So
was
my
born in
mother,
'82.
okay, hold on. My mother, who was born in 1950 in Chicago, hers says Black. I was born in South Georgia. Mine says Negro.
Negro, yeah.
My dad says Negro. David, since you were born in Chicago, yours probably says Black. What on
Right. I
my
have
my
I have a reissue right here. Hold up. I have a reissue. It does not state race. The original one that my mom had with the
yeah.
signatures probably said Black, but the reprint from Vital Records does not say a race, believe it or not.
Was you born in Cook County?
Yes, absolutely. Cook County.
Yeah. Okay. Yours says Black because my mom born in Cook County. So
Cook
okay.
County. Okay.
So
Yeah,
the reason why I say that is because when you put these, if you put if all the Democrats have changed and everybody has changed, it's all for political reasons. Period. Everything they do to us, to the people of color, is all political. It's something to do. It's not for money reasons. Well, part of it is for money if it's political. Everything, if it's political, it's for money. So they split us all up in these subtexts of race and you like you now, hey, you're African American now. What? When did that happen?
it's like marketing demographics.
Exactly. It's marketing. That's it.
It definitely
Yeah.
is. And to your point, Corey, as well, when my grandfather came over here from Cuba, they changed our last name from our last name ending with a Z with an S to make it end with a Z to Americanize it. My grandfather, who fought in World War II, who's passed away now, he came over and he was in the Air Force and they changed his last name. So when they came over, he was Latina. He's straight Cuban. My grandmother is Pacific Islander. On my sister and my brother's birth certificate, now my mother and father are the same. It says Latin Pacific Asian. Mine just says Latina. but we're all the same. And their last names have the S. Mine, they changed it to Americanize it because I came 10 years later than my brother and my sister, and I am still with the Z.
Wow.
Mm. Mm.
So to what Ocean is saying, think about it like this. To everybody's point, if they can do that to all six of us, change what we are, what do you think they're gonna do to the doggone map and the voting system and everything else? It will never be what we think it is.
And the funny thing,
Yes.
when it was all over, I told my cousin, I was like, whoever win, they gonna say they stole it. I was like, no matter who, I feel like if Kamala won, the Republican Party was gonna say they stole it. They did
Man,
something. That we gotta recount the votes. I was like, no matter who wins, the other side cheated. Like that's just what this was. Like I was telling him, I'm like, I used to pay a lot of attention to politics, like back when I was a little younger, until it started to like unnecessarily stress me out. Cause
Mhm.
it's like it's really nothing you as one person could change. It's like ignorance is literally bliss. So I don't pay as much attention to it as I used to at one point. But like honestly, like I was telling homie, I'm like, when you really look at it, it just frustrates you because when you watch how they pander, especially this particular election, it's like they was both being blatantly disrespectful to our intelligence as the American people because they didn't run on policy. Either one. They both put on concerts and comedy shows, and it was a whole lot of mudslinging. I was like, dude, I can't name 10 people that can name 5 issues that either of these candidates ran on. Like
Yeah,
everything was some type of headline.
I want to speak on that one too, Dolly. Like being a Democrat since I voted for Clinton. My first time I was able to vote, I turned 18 just in time to vote for Bill Clinton. And, my mom went to school in segregated schools. She was within one of the first classes that was desegregated in the city of Chicago. So my mother went through that. And she always taught me exercise your vote because people died so you can have rights. Um, and I voted Democratic my whole life. And I always felt that we need to vote because people have died for us to allow us the right to vote. And in this election, I never told people to vote Democrat. I said, please vote. Just don't sit out. Just don't sit it out. Like, please vote. Like, get active. And some of my friends got active, and some had their reasons for sitting out. Some voted independent. Some wrote in candidates and said, I ain't going for either one. So I'm going to write in Cornel West or another candidate, right? They went their own way. And I'm not mad at that because they exercise the process. What I'm trying to get at is, Dolly, I wasn't in politics when I was young, man. I voted out of obligation because my parents taught me you have a right, don't waste that right. But now that I've gotten older, now I'm getting more and more into the policies and the issues. Here's what scares me about politics. It's now degraded to the point that you can get Supreme Court justices installed that will support your agenda. And yes, I'm talking about Trump again. Forgive me if this is offending anybody because I don't mean to, but I'm just talking about the issue. I feel like if Trump can get Supreme Court justices into the Supreme Court who have a lifetime appointment and can make sure that not only they're conservative but they're MAGA leaning to the point that he has 34 felonies, and the only way he was going to get off is if he got elected and they changed the laws. So before he got elected, his Supreme Court cronies, Brett Kavanaugh and all of them, made sure that the law now says that a president is immune from prosecution if he commits a crime while in office. That's unheard of in the 200 years we've been around in the United States government. It's unheard of. And for you to influence your crew to say, hey, dog, I got you. I'm going to make sure that when you get back in, if you get back in, you can't be prosecuted. So he gets elected and he ain't even in office. He's pro tem, president pro tem. They are already saying, oh, we're going to postpone the next few court dates. You know what? Yeah, we're just going to put that off until after the holidays. Also very convenient. Now let a black man get in the office and pull that mess. And I'm being honest. I'm not calling race. I'm telling you what it is. We can't do what they can do and get away with it. When a black man does the same crime as a white person, they get the book thrown at them. The white person gets leniency. Same thing with getting, shot and killed in the streets. A black man will get shot and killed, murdered right there because of whatever. A white man, hey, stand down. Hey, let's get you some McDonald's. Are you hungry? I know you had an AK-47. Let's talk to you. Let's get you some help. We don't get that benefit. And to me, that's not pushing race, and that's not pushing hate. That's dealing with facts to me. Again, though, I'm going to see the facts from my black lens, my black male lens. That's how I see it. And other people will wear their lens to see it how they see it. But I've always felt like we got to get involved, Dolly. And this is why I vote, is because we now have to get Supreme Court justices in to balance out the right wing, right leaning, ultra conservative, even MAGA supporting. We got to get people in to support that. We got to get people in technology that can counteract a Elon Musk and say, hey, Mr. Genius, did you do something with the election? Because we thought Russia had something to do with it the last time. Now you coming in here, right? Not to mention you got mad government contracts. Now you own the cabinet. Now you got a position. Again, get a black man up there, have him get all of his crew in there. You got a Department of Justice head that ain't even a lawyer, that's in fact accused of sexual assault in all these cases. That Gates character. Imagine if Obama did some mess like that. And it don't have to be Obama. Imagine if I got up here and I got all my criminal friends and say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna make you the Department of Justice. Yeah, I'm gonna make you the Secretary of State. I'm gonna make you head over the Department of Education. Completely unqualified. Like people that aren't even experienced in those areas. They just picking folks and saying, yeah, you do this, you do this, you do that. It's like cronyism. And yet, Kamala, although I don't agree with how she treated black people in the criminal justice system in Cali, I'm aware of what she did. At least she was a qualified lawyer. At least she actually had qualifications. She may not have stated her case well, but she had qualifications. They just pulling jokers off for anywhere saying, hey, man, I'm going to put you over the red button because you're my boy. Have you ever even served in the military? How do you become I have an issue with all of that because they want to say diversity and inclusion is bad, but you literally pulling your boys in and your homies that ain't even qualified and just saying, here, you get an appointment, you get an appointment, and you get an appointment. I got an issue with that.
Good point.
That's why we need to vote. That's why I think we need to vote, Zenos. I think we need to get to say what I was trying to say. We need to go to the inside and fight the politics from the inside and get people installed that are more leaning to what we care about, right? Just work the process, but get people involved. I think we need to get into politics, not ignore politics.
Well, I wasn't saying that we should ignore politics. I was saying that we need to get a unified agenda. And I feel like we can't get that unified agenda if they already know that we're going to vote for them anyway. As well as something that I was going to say, but this is a little like way farther in the future. But I feel like we need to raise more lawyers and less athletes. Like, just to be like 100% real, because the only way we could fight it from the inside is to actually have people that look like us on the inside. Like, we can't do that from the basketball court, football field, or the studio. So like, just on some real shit. Like, I'm not saying that we should pull out of the political process. I'm saying that we should approach the political process more strategically than saying, oh shit, we don't want Trump in there, so we all got to go vote for the Democrat Party. Because I honestly feel like a lot of how they run to black people is to literally say, we ain't Trump, vote for us. Like, I feel like genuinely that's what Joe Biden said when he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He basically said, shit, nigga, I ain't Trump. So even though I'm not offering y'all shit, even though politically I don't have any agenda for you, I don't have anything to offer you, I'm not doing shit for you, but I'm not Trump, so vote for me. But go ahead,
man, y'all bringing up a lot of stuff, and I think there's a few different layers that are getting overlooked. First of all, let's go back to the United States of America, 1776. Let's go back to the United States of America prior to 1776. You have to remember that the United States of America was, well, you know, the murder and destruction of the natives aside. I'm gonna put that aside for a minute. You had Europeans fleeing an imbalanced power structure.
Yes, sir.
Where you could only be in power if you were born into power. The church was being influenced by those same people in power. And all those Protestants and blue collar, if you will, white Europeans fled to America to create a better society. Okay. You see it in the Middle East. You see it in Russia. You see it in Asia. Here in America, we keep stopping at the race part. Why? Because white people have the money and the power. It's still about power. And Black people can sit here and whine and complain about race, and I want to be. Until we get some power, it doesn't matter. There is not one king, there's not one kingdom that has not been brought down and stripped of power and just willingly said, okay, give it to the serfs, give it to the peons, give it to the poor. No, people don't do that. So I'm gonna push back on what Dolomite said. Less athletes? No, keep the athletes, because athletes really only 1%. I mean, it's really hard to be an athlete. Everybody else that ain't doing nothing, they need to get into the game. And the game is politics. The game is doctors and lawyers. First of all, I hate that lawyers run our politics anyway, because all a lawyer knows how to do is win an argument. They don't know how to solve a problem. Can I get some love for my GT crew? Can I get some love for my STEM majors up in here? Yes, sir. But anyway, enough of that. So people in power, the Republican Party did not want Donald Trump in 2016, but he was smashing all the other candidates. And then he won the office. And we underestimate how much people hated Hillary Clinton. Like, Donald Trump winning in 2016 had nothing to do with Donald Trump as much as it had to do with people hating the Clintons. Funny that both times he won, it was a polarizing woman. But you know, when Dolomite asked about, did everybody really vote for Biden? Yeah, because he was a white man. Yeah, I can get behind a white man. Yeah, I can give him my vote because we know that other joker's crazy. And so once they realize, hey, if we can get him back in office with the Senate, with the House, with the Supreme Court, we can then go unchecked and put some policies in place that may end the Democratic Party. And so it's always been a power game. And I think sometimes we get distracted on the racial part based on things that Biden said, based on things that CNN tells us, based on things that Fox News tells us. And ain't nobody gonna know enough AI, David, to compete with Elon Musk when this man's sitting on trillions of dollars. He could call Corey right now and say, Corey, I'll give you 20 million if you vote Trump. I guarantee Corey will MAGA out.
You damn right. And then move to Singapore.
Right, take your 20 million and bounce.
Right. So we gotta get some power. We gotta get some money, some finance. Because until we get that, it's always going to be them pandering us. And to push back, I think what both parties were trying to do with this hip hop concerts, they were trying to win the young vote because young people ain't voting. And they were trying to get them to vote. But last thing I'm gonna say, then I'm gonna get off the stage. America can no longer afford. Soon, America will run out of money for Social Security. How many times did you hear Kamala or Donald Trump mention Social Security? Me? 0. So the Republican Party wants to privatize Social Security. The Democrats want to increase taxes for Social Security. I don't like either one of those options because I don't want nobody else in my pocket. And I doggone straight don't want to be paying some private firm so some other white crew can get rich on Social Security. And so we're sitting here again, arguing over abortion. We're sitting here arguing over LGBTQ. I don't want my son to be in the bed. Look, man, LGBTQ makes up 1%. Again, we're voting on 1% when they've already told us, this man said, you will never have to vote again. I'm going to put Gates over the Justice. Listen, last thing I'm going to say. What's going to impact our lives more? A boy that's confused about his gender sharing a classroom with my child, or a criminal running the Department of Justice? Man, shut the hell up. Man, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. So that little baby stuff that we voting over, the border. And I know the Democrats messed up because I don't leave my back door unlocked. Leaving the border unlocked, that's not a platform. Nobody leaves stuff unlocked. No, both of them should have been saying, we're locking the border up. People can come here, but they got to come legally. Both parties. But this man is putting criminals and people who want money, Elon Musk, over government. He just fired the Department of the head of the DOD. He's firing a retired Black 4-star general.
Yeah, that's insane.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's insane. On, hey, I want to do something real quick. Because I could play clips, and the clips are, polarizing, right? And I might still have time to get to some of those clips. But let's say, tell us why you voted for the party or the candidate you voted for. Tell us something where you said, hey, this is important to me, and this is why. I'll start first. I voted for Kamala and the Democratic Party because I feel that people's rights. Here, let me solo myself because this might be a good viral clip. I voted for Kamala and the Democratic Party because I felt that people's rights were worth keeping versus stripping them away. And I felt like the reversal of Roe v. Wade, which happened, I think, 2 years ago in 2022, was the federal government saying, I'm no longer going to protect the rights of women to have a choice. Again, have a choice. Because just because it's legal to have an abortion doesn't mean it's morally recommended or even allowed in your belief system. But it's a choice. And I feel that if a woman is raped, if a woman is abused, or if a woman just has a baby, is pregnant at 15 or 13, it's like, I can't do this. I feel like abortion should be a choice. Now, who helps them with that choice? Parent, minor, that sort of thing. To me, that's just policy that you can write out. But I don't think the choice should be stripped. And I voted Democrat like I always do, because I feel that the Democratic Party is trying to preserve the rights of minorities and people that have been historically oppressed in this country. If they can strip away my mother's right to have an abortion, they can strip away my mother's right to vote. If they can strip away my mother's right to vote, they can strip away my Black man's rights to vote. And if they can strip away my right to vote, they can take me back to segregation and slavery. Now, some people may say, oh my God, that's race politics, that's extreme. No, that's history. Let's not lose the fact that 100 years ago we were segregated. 200 years ago it was slavery. Let's not lose the fact that when I go to my family tree and I look, like I think my great grandfather was a man living in a house with white people because he was a slave. Right? That's real. And young Black people today are not connected to the pain of what this country did policy-wise and law-wise to my ancestors. My nephew, nieces, all them young folks, they ain't connected emotionally like I am, and my mother and my mother's mother and my father's father. And I think that's important. So I cannot support a party, the Republican Party, to me, that wants to strip away people's rights while continuing to prop up white males' benefits and rights. And that's what I meant by white male supremacy, Xenos. I feel like they step on and strip everybody else and only look out for the white male. And they paint it how they want. Oh, it's Christian. Oh, it's manhood. Oh, it's money. Oh, it's taxes. Oh, it's, you have morals. Man, it's white supremacy. It's make sure the white man has $1. to me. So that's why I voted for Democrat, because I feel that they preserve the small person's rights. Who else wants to say why they voted the way they did or what they liked about their candidate?
I'll go. I sat it out, honestly. I only really like to vote locally because, what's going to affect me immediately is the most important to me. I genuinely feel like a lot of times the president is not elected, they're selected.
Mm.
Like I genuinely feel like a lot of times they try to make it look a certain way so they have the illusion of choice. But in reality, we already know who was gonna win. So I don't too much put a lot of emotional stock into it. Like just for my own mental health, it's like watching horse racing or something. Like I'm tripping myself out for something that my vote only had but so much stock in. So for the most part, I focus on things locally. And I'm a genuine believer in like us as people taking care of self more than paying attention to what the president is doing. Because, like Corey said in the very, very beginning, no matter who win, we got bills to pay. So no matter who was gonna win, I got hard work to do. I got kids to raise. I got kids to teach. So no matter what they want to teach in schools and do all that, I'm focusing on the things that I teach my own personal children. So I sat it out because, I believe in doing for self.
Okay. I think, did I see Corey first, Rain? Did you wave it?
Go ahead and let Rain go first, bro.
All right, go ahead, Rain.
There's several reasons I voted, but I will just say this. I voted for Kamala, and I voted for Kamala for my ancestors that had to pay $2, $3 to vote in the past. I voted for the reproductive rights of women who have been raped like myself. I voted for that. I voted for them to be able to make the choice. If something ever happened to my daughter or someone else, I voted for my sons. I voted for us being humans, not multiracial, but humans. I voted for us because I did not want to see Magna become a definite defiant where we may no longer have any more elections. I voted because I did not want to see what I'm going to see coming. What we are missing, and I'm not saying that we are missing, but what I pray and I rebuke it, but I voted because I do not want to see in America where genocide is going to start happening because of what's going on. I voted because I knew that hate may win in the beginning, but love always will win. Love always wins in the end, excuse me. So I voted for Kamala for those reasons, not because everything she said was right, not because everything that Trump said was wrong. I voted for that reason. And I voted because I knew that I wanted to know that in the next 4 years, whether it be a woman or a man, white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, whomever it is, we would have another opportunity at this. Because if we would have went the other way, we don't know what's coming. And everything right now, we're saying that we're, like Corey said, we're going to be able to put on our pants and go to work and pay our bills. That may not be the case. Artificial intelligence, no matter how people are seeing it, more and more jobs are being taken over right now in other countries. We will be out of jobs. Mark my words. We don't know what's going to happen. Give it 2 years, and Elon Musk and Trump, when they have that disagreement, the truth will set us free.
That's a good word, because AI is here. It's coming, whether we like it or not. Go ahead, Corey.
So, yes, I did vote, but I voted just like I played the lottery. Yeah,
What do you
I
mean?
voted. What I mean, I played the lottery, and I hope that I won. But what happened? I'm talking to you right now in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm not in Singapore. So I didn't win my lottery.
Right.
But I have to say, the reason why I voted for Kamala is it wasn't that hard. I mean, I'm not going to vote for a bully. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to vote for somebody that I know that I only let in my house. I want to vote somebody that if I had a daughter, I ain't going to let you. No, you cannot go with him. I keep things as simple as that. He's not a good human being. I'm not going to vote for somebody who's for years. And I'm talking about in from the USFL. You destroyed the USFL because you were selfish. I'm looking at your whole background. People forget. That's the problem with most people. They forget. History is here for a reason. You will see the blueprint of what type of person this is. If they can't run a company, they can run it, but they can run it bad. If they're not giving good people towards other people, how do you think they're gonna treat you? This is not a person who wants people to be together. He wants people to be separate. He's gonna say, "You're gonna do what I say. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and you're gonna like it. Even if you don't like it, I'm still gonna do it." And there ain't nothing you can say can make me change it. I don't want no one like that running the country. You're not gonna dictate me. Before anything like that happens in America, guess what's gonna happen? It'll be the next revolution slash civil war. And one thing I know for a fact that older white people and even the middle-aged white people, whoever they are, they don't want to see violence. They talk that junk, but they don't want it because they don't want their livelihoods changed. Once you start changing livelihoods and things gonna start going left, oh, then they start understanding. They don't want to see that. No one wants to see that, but I feel it coming. It's coming.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's gonna be in these 4 years, but if it
Yeah.
keeps going the way it's going, guess what? Elon Musk gonna be like, wait a minute, what happened to my Tesla trucks? Why are my Tesla trucks blowing up?
Right.
AI. Now it's gonna be AI for Allen Iverson. That's it. That's on AI we're gonna understand. Because once the people rise up and get it, wait a minute,
I, I feel you.
everybody poor? No, it's not gonna work. And I
Yeah.
don't care who on what side, Democratic side or Republican side. It don't matter. If we're not like this and the country's not like this together, we can't be separate for too long. Because if it's on the top 5% that's winning and the other 95% is losing, that
Yeah.
95% gonna come together.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I see is the top 5% winning.
I want to go to Michelle. Michelle, why did you vote for your candidate, or what issue did you vote for where you say, you know what, if I go this route, this is best?
Oh, because of how I've been seeing things in the last bunch of years that I've been a citizen of this country, coming from a third world country. I've been sitting here and looking at every single opinion, not just with you guys, but
Yeah.
I've been looking at how society is. I live amongst people like we all do. I see how people that voted for the left have been behaving, how I don't want to offend, but I see the mental instability and how everything is based on feelings, and that they call themselves a tolerant party, and there's no tolerance whatsoever right now, because the moment you say, hey, I don't agree with you, you get called homophobic, transphobic, black phobic, whatever, phobic, which is mind blowing because phobic is a phobia. I'm not afraid of anybody. But yeah, and I don't hate anybody. I don't hate women. I feel that I voted because I'm tired of seeing the debauchery that this society has, the level of debauchery, this level of the society has gotten. I'm sorry, I'm like, bleh. Because I believe that women can be better and we have other choices. Why are we so tunnel visioned into abortion, 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 abortion? Girl, you got fucking contraceptives out there. You can say no. Men can put a fucking condom on. Stop victimizing yourself. We're better than that, and we need to be smarter as women. I'm not against it. I just begging for people to be smarter. And I didn't vote blue because I didn't see that happening anymore. Because I'm tired of the separation and I'm tired of blaming the government for everything. You know what? We as society can be better than that. We can stop getting the labels off and we can stop labeling ourselves as black, white, Mexican, Latino, all that. We're human beings, for God's sakes. This is why I voted like that. And it pisses me off that I'm getting the fucking hate. I am losing the friends.
And also rape.
And I'm fucking tired of this. And I'm not against. I'm sorry, let me just finish. I am tired that we are a country of immigrants.
Hold on. Let her finish, Rain.
We're a country of immigrants, and I don't disagree with having this amazing melting pot of so many great things, but there has to be some sort of rules, whether we like it or not. That's how we have to function as a society. They do it in other countries. As a Mexican, I am required to have a voting ID. That doesn't make my country racist, because I have to follow a system in order for us to get along. And I see that the blue is like, no, fuck this. I want to do whatever I want. I want to fucking fuck somebody and get an abortion the way that I fucking change my panties. Like that. No. And I'm not against it. Like, girl, if you're raped, if you, all of these things, if it's going to kill you, yes, go get it. I'm not against that. And I don't think even Trump is against that. There's videos where he supports that. You know, that he's not just like blocking all the abortion. And that's why I'm getting the facts. But it just pisses me off that I see the decay of society right now and how it's getting, and we're losing our morals and we're losing our values. And I don't want to grow up, and I don't have any children even, but I don't want to grow old in this society the way it is right now. That's why I voted the way I did. And I'm tired of being judged.
Hold on. Let me say something as a host. So Rain, we wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to share, right? And we don't want to condemn anybody for their vote. And I just appreciate you for joining and being able to say how you voted, Michelle, right?
Yeah.
And I also appreciate the fact that you said that some of your friends and you've lost friends and people judge you and all of that. Yeah, when you say how you voted, some people will judge you. Like even me, the way I read,
Dave, to the point where like we can't be friends. Like, really, you're gonna make a voting choice? The definition of a friendship? Like, what about the history? The things that we do have in common? That what the fuck? You're throwing out that like out the window because I voted red and you voted blue. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
And this is exactly why I said, hey, I'm your friend. I'm Juan's friend. I'm not going to judge you.
Oh,
I may not agree politically.
I'm telling you.
Look, I have my strong opinions. But I understand that we're humans and I understand that we're going to disagree. Right. But especially when I sensed, what you were going through before we got on the show, you told me kind of how some of your other friends had treated you. And I said, hey, I want y'all to both know y'all are gonna be my friends regardless, even if I disagree with the political vote or whatever, right? Because I'm not here to persecute anyone, and I don't want to be persecuted either for how I feel and all of that. And so, Rand, I saw you wanted to respond and all of that, but I think I just want to let
Sorry,
Michelle's
I got
reason for
emotional.
that's okay. I want to let Michelle's reason for voting stand, and I just want to say that's the reason she voted because we gave everybody a chance, and I don't want to necessarily say why we agree or disagree because I don't want her to feel like we're attacking her. So let's, if you want to share something, you can, Rain, but let's keep it on the here's why I went the way I went. You know what I'm saying? Is that cool?
I hear you, Michelle, and I understand. I definitely do because honestly, I will tell you this. When at one point in time, I was really understanding where Trump was coming from because I sort of went back to what Dolly was saying, Uncle Dolly was saying when he was talking about how, he's able to, the blinds are uncovered. You're able to see who is who and what is what. But that's some of the people, and I get it. But what hurts me is me being Latina like you and you being Mexicano and like a lot of my friends that are Mexican. And I'm not just saying because inside, as well as I know as being Latina, there's a lot of colorism that we have in our own culture. And what I'm saying is I get what you're saying and I understand. I don't get exactly all of it. You understand? But what I'm saying is it's hard for me and I'm still uncovering that. But even deeper than just the moment of, you being Latina and me being Latina, but you being Mexican and the way that they treat Mexican Americans. And I know you coming over here being an immigrant, I don't understand how in the hell someone can vote that way. And even when you're talking about, here we go again, as women, we're still stuck on the reproduction rights when that's not even half of what's going on and what we need to really be discussing. Because whether what's going to happen, there's going to be ways that we're going to be able to get what we need to get done. And I get what you're saying. And when you're saying use contraceptive, use this, well, there's times you say you don't have any children now, and I understand that. So I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying that when someone tells me that there's so many different reasons, but I'm just not understanding how a woman in my head, a woman, any woman, no matter what the race, could just vote for a man who just degrades women to a pulp. I remember I was going to take a man to vote, a younger white male to vote. And what he told me is this. He said, I was told by my grandparents that I needed to vote for Trump. But I don't want to vote for neither of them. I said, you go in there and you vote for how you want to vote. And the
Hold on, Rain. We got to let Dolly go. You got to go, Dolly.
Have a good
Yeah, I gotta
night.
get ready for work.
Good night. Thank
All right,
you
man.
for
Appreciate you,
sharing.
bro. Thanks for joining, man. That's my man, Dolly. Oh, I'm getting feedback too. Real quick, Rain. I hear what you're saying, but Michelle explained why she voted, and it was because of the immorality and the things on the left and how people are getting just so
And
extreme. So just remember, let's remember everyone has a different lens, right? And so I hear
and
what you're
and
saying, but
and
I don't want you to
you,
feel attacked,
I just
Michelle.
want to say something. I don't let my culture or my sex define me as a human being. Yeah, I'm a woman that voted for Trump. He grabs him by the pussy. I'm not gonna let anybody grab me by the pussy. I'm better than that, and I'm not gonna
You let your husband.
yeah, but that's the only one I let. But like I said, I'm not defined by that.
Yeah. Michelle, and this people's Wi-Fi is raining over here, so I don't
Yeah.
think whoever just left was on purpose. Unless Corey waved. Corey might have waved. He might have to go. Michelle, I hear you, and we're gonna leave that point there because some people will see the lens of, hey, Dave, if you Christian, you need to go this route, and I'm gonna question your Christianity.
Exactly.
If you're voting liberal, right? You're voting for abortion. You want children murdered. No, I don't want children murdered, right? So
Right.
so there are nuances, and so I agree that your view is I'm human. I'm not going to let my culture, I'm not gonna let my gender define me, right? And that is one perspective. But then there's other people that absolutely are like, no, I am defined by my culture. I am defined by my gender. I am defined by my belief system. And that's why, and I think that's why we're all talking to bring those things out. We are at almost 2 hours. So thanks, Michelle. First of all, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry if your other people, your other friends excommunicated you. You still welcome here. Okay. I'm not gonna call you a Trumper.
Thank you.
Gonna,
Please don't.
I'm not gonna do that. You're welcome here. And we tried to tonight create a conversation where everyone could be heard. And this is why, my one friend, and I'll say it, my homie Steve. Steve is he go hard in the paint. He go hard for Trump. He go hard for MAGA, and he goes hard against the Dems. I was like, I can't have Steve tonight because Steve would just go ham.
Your other buddy too is
Who might
extreme
have
on
felt
the
the
other
text.
side. It's
You should have put him
He
on.
would have had your back though. He would have had your back. He would have called me, Xenos, and everybody else dumb motherfuckers. He would have snapped. He would have had your back.
That's fine. I would want him to explain, give me facts and data on that statement.
Right. Why did this thing did I type? I tried to say no worries and I don't know what I just typed. Someone is back. Who did we lose? Big Corey G is back.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm trying to learn from everybody here too, and I hope that you guys are also like getting a different perspective from me. That's the point here.
I'm definitely hearing from not just you, but my other friends that voted Republican. And again, some people didn't necessarily vote for Trump. They voted Republican and conservative.
Right. And
that's important to know. Just because you voted red don't mean you were fully MAGA. And just because you voted blue don't mean you were fully whatever you want to call the extreme on the left side, right? So I want to make that clear. Go ahead, Xenos. We got 67 minutes.
Why did I vote? So first of all, just a quick history lesson. It was the Republican Party that freed the slaves. And unfortunately, after Franklin Delano Roosevelt, I believe, was in office and instituted several policies that still exist today, like Social Security, the Democratic Party had such power that the Republican Party was on its deathbed. And around the time that Nixon was running, they instituted what's called the Southern Strategy, right? The whole country was blue. Most whites voted Democrat because the Democrats were for the working man.
Labor unions. Yeah.
Yep. And so when the Republican Party realized that they were dying, they used the Southern Strategy to align or build their base from Southern whites who wanted the Southern states to operate with their own power outside of the overarching federal government. So in a sense, the Republican Party pushed away from Black votes to get those white voters in the South who did not want Blacks to have certain rights and equal facilities.
I have to add there, that speaks of the Confederacy. That speaks of less educated, rural white males. And that's the heartland, it's the center of the country. That's all the red states you see behind us in that picture. So the Southern Strategy really did target less educated white males that had a sense of this Southern Confederacy bonding, right? And that's why in today's world, for somebody like me, I can't let that history escape me from today's Republican Party. Every time I see that, I still see Confederacy. I still see Southern. I still see, let me go for the less educated white male that I can scare because, oh no, the niggas are coming. The niggas are coming. And I can scare them into saying, don't do anything that's going to support them because, they're dangerous. And that's the race politic from the white side that I see versus people see the race politics from the Democratic side that they see. Go ahead, Xenos. I didn't mean to jump in.
Right. And so also during that time, Christians were pro-abortion. Most Christians were pro-abortion. And that just became another strategy. Would God want us to abort babies? To pull over that Christian, that evangelical base to add to the Republican Party. So I do like a lot of policies of the Republican Party prior to 2016. There are a lot of things that they believe as far as strong defense and different things that I support. And also from the Democratic side, I'm not really fully woke, right? I mean, I'm not all the way woke, so to speak. But
what does woke mean? What does woke mean?
We'll have to have another. We may have to have another. But from 2016 on, Donald Trump has emboldened racism. And I know what Uncle Dolomite said about he wants to see who is who. And I'm okay with that. I just don't want the who is who to be emboldened to do what they did in Charlottesville, Virginia, to be emboldened to do what they did on January 6th. He lied about losing the election and those sorts of things. And so as a Christian, which I said earlier, I never really leaned heavily into politics from a Christian platform until the last couple of years. But my question would be this for Christians. If we split a room in half, and on this side of the room is where I'm standing, and I see myself as a Christian standing next to racists, open racists. We know no racists, white nationalists, we know they never vote blue. If they're on the side of the red, why are you over there with them? If you serve Christ, why are you over there with them? So I didn't necessarily vote for Kamala. I probably more so voted Democrat. But I ain't no way in hell I was voting for Donald Trump.
I feel you. Guys, we got 3 minutes or less. Anything that you want to say, I give everybody 30 seconds. A real 30 seconds. We got a timer.
We're all human, and at the end of the day, we're all trying to survive this world. And our allegiance doesn't have to be to Democrats. My allegiance is to actually God, that has the last say so.
All right, who's next?
I want to say I appreciate Michelle coming on. I know this was tough, but I appreciate you standing in the midst of people with different opinions. I think that speaks a lot of your character, your integrity, because I know that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give you. And I know like Ocean said, I know everybody has their reason for doing things. My reason is just more of a big picture deal, and I just try to take that into account.
Thank you.
30 seconds.
I just want everybody to get along. Stupid as it sounds, I just want it to be better. We can't be sorry. We have to be better as a society, as human beings, and drop the color, drop the victimization, drop all that, and be better than the government, be better than the extremists, and just fucking get along and accept each other, whether we have a lot of money or not. And I'm sorry, I do love Elon.
Corey, 30 seconds, Corey.
I'll be quick. There needs to be a age cap in the Congress, age cap for presidency. I'm getting tired of these old folks come and the top 5% running the country. We need people who actually run the United States, the ones who work hard, teachers, lawyers, whatever, the people who have to pay the taxes that they don't want to pay. I know that's most everybody, but at the same time, man, I'm tired of seeing the same old. We need to change the regiment. I want somebody in my doggone
Corey,
high school class. All right, then I'm gone. Bye-bye.
My bad, man. That's that 30, man. We got to rock and roll, man. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll see y'all next time on the After Dark Podcast, everybody, man. Peace. It's Dave, man.